Team Fortress 2 recently reached 14 years of age, and the competitive scene has been around just as long as that. Over the near decade and a half of leagues, tournaments and LANs, there have been thousands of players across hundreds and hundreds of teams trying to make their mark on the game. Many will reach the top, but only a few will leave a legacy that will be remembered years after the event. A number of teams have managed to create their own eras. In Europe, the earlier days of competitive TF2 were signified by the dominance of Epsilon Esports. 8 premiership titles in ETF2L and 2 I-Series victories saw them crowned as world champions during the first tri-continental LAN tournament TF2 had to offer, I-49, back in 2013. Fast forward some years and you see the dynasty of 7, whose group of players amassed 11 ETF2L Premiership titles and 3 I-Series victories, albeit one of those under the name of Crowns. Their players also had LAN victories at Copenhagen Games and go down as one of the most successful sides in the world and the best in European history. But what about North America? Go back far enough and the side of classic mix-up holds fond memories for most, winning 3 ESCA invite titles, over $40,000 in prize money, and the first ever intercontinental LAN in TF2, I-46, back in 2012. All of these teams were considered super teams, strong teams that were made of the best players in the game at the time in their regions, and who dominated the scene for their eras, winning the majority of online and LAN events that they participated in. One name we have yet to speak about, however. Arguably the most well-known and successful team in TF2 history is Froyotech, led by one of the most recognizable faces in the community, Banny. Having been part of a to and fro with his teams against classic mix-up over the years, Froyotech was founded at the start of 2014 and fast became the dominant side in North America. With 20 invite online titles and 6 intercontinental LAN victories, the trophy cabinet speaks for itself. However, 2021 was not a good year for Banny and his teammates, and the question is on some people's lips: is their era of dominance over? Obviously, Froyotech still sit as one of the best teams in North America and the world. However, the sheen of invincibility isn't as strong as perhaps it once was. The first questions were raised about calling Froyo the number 1 team in the world came as early as 2019, with their complete absence from any LAN tournaments. Having won on their last appearance, I-63, back in August 2018, Froyo's next planned offline event was Rewind 3 at the start of the following year. Organisation issues led to the event being cancelled, and despite their absence at the previous year's edition, many held out hope for their attendance at Copenhagen Games during Easter 2019. But it didn't happen. Froyo's arch-rival 7 picked up the win against a European Ascent side in the grand final, and eyes became firmly focused on the summer, when I-65 would be happening, and Froyotech would have a chance at defending their title. But they didn't attend. Reasons were vague and people were unhappy, wanting to see the best play the best. Once again, 7 would be the victor of the spoils, this time beating out a North American Ascent side in the finale. The questions were asked: who is the best team in the world? Despite regional dominance, having not been tested on the international offline stage, can Froyotech still claim to be numero uno? The wait would have to continue after the Beyond the Summit event, due to be held in North America, was cancelled under controversial circumstances, while the rest of 2020 and 2021 held no TF2 LANs for, well, obvious reasons. Offline results are of course important. Froyotech's dominance on American soil is unmatched, having won every ESEA invite season they participated in since 2014 except one, Season 20 back in 2015. When ESEA dropped TF2 support in 2019, the move to RGL was made, with Froyo's victory in No Restriction 6s and Prolander even leading to the prospect of enforced roster changes to prevent their nigh unbeatability. With RGL picking up the mantle for 6v6, Froyotech would win the opening 5 seasons, including the spring season at the start of this year, 2021, reaching that total of 20 Invite League titles. That, however, would be their last victory of the year. Season 6 saw them toppled in the grand final, losing out to Witness Gaming in a thrilling best-of-5 spectacle. This was the first time in almost 6 years that they had not won the top division of North American TF2, and only their second non-first place in 22 attempts. With Season 7 already underway, Froyotech sit at a 13-1 record heading into playoffs, a record they share with Witness Gaming after sharing defeats. Will revenge be on the cards or the start of a power shift? Some of you may be thinking, what? LAN absences and one season where they don't win? That's not the signs of a team in decline. And that's true. 2021 did have some more bad moments for the team though, with Dreamhack Community Clash. In May, an online tournament was held by Dreamhack, offering $2,400 of prize money in the absences of any LANs happening due to the pandemic. Naturally, Froyotech attended the North American edition, going in as the favourites. During the group stages, they lost to Team ASDF, comprised of some top players in the region. Just a blip, surely. Come final time, the two teams squared off again, and it was a repeat of the group stage. Froyotech were failed at the final hurdle, 2-0. A month later, Froyo decided they would jump into the European edition of the Dreamhack tournament. The same prize money was on offer there too, with a couple of roster changes, under the name of Denying Euros prize money. The group stage saw them lose one match and draw another, but it was enough to get them second seed despite not having all of their players. Come playoff time, they again reached the final, playing against ETF2L Premiership title holders Nerdrage. And the final was rather one-sided for the Europeans. 5-1 on Process and 5-0 on Sunshine, the latter map only taking 12 minutes to finish, saw Froyotech, albeit under a different name, tumble to another final loss. So the question remains, are Froyotech the indomitable force that they once were? Many of you are probably screaming, saying, of course, missing out on a couple of LANs, losing one league title, a couple of cup losses, one where they didn't have their full roster, that doesn't change anything. Froyotech are still the best, and part of me agrees with you. They are still one of the best teams in the world and some of the best players in TF2, but 2021 saw the side lose more competitions than they won for the first time in their history. Perhaps in the future, teams will have a little bit more confidence in beating them than they did before. What do you think? Thanks for watching the video, everyone. If you made it this far, I appreciate it. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Take care, and I'll see you next time.